everybody. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dalia Brunschwig. I'm a certified nutrition health coach and founder of Fully in Balance. And I help Jewish women find their unique blind spot that prevents them from losing weight and feeling great. And how do I do that? So I actually go back to the basics. I go back to the roots. And that's why I'm here today, to talk to you about how we connect the Torah to today's generation. So let me share with you my screen. And let's talk about it. So before we talk about it, let me talk a little bit about myself and introduce myself for those that don't know me. I am originally from Spain. I grew up there, but I lived in the UK, in Israel, and now I live in Switzerland with my husband and 3 kids. And I started being a nutrition health coach after a very difficult delivery 8 years ago when I gave birth to my youngest daughter. I had complications during the delivery, but also after. I felt bloated. I had so many health issues like kidney stones, urine infections. I couldn't lose my weight. There were so many issues. And with the help of real food and listening to my body, I was able to get back to myself, to really feel great, feel amazing, and to help other women out there. People saw the change in me and they were asking me, what did you do? And since then, it's been now 5 years that I'm helping lots. I've helped over 1,000 busy Jewish women all around the world in different forums, either by groups or with private sessions, with my different programs, the Balance Redefined, which is really a 12-week program where I help them to find the real blueprint, what helps them to find their own balance, and different seasonal resets that I do after the Chagim in order to jumpstart all with real food. And then I have my club membership where I help them maintain and really do things step by step. And I do this all based on our Jewish beautiful life, because life is what Hashem gave us, is our precious gift. And we should take care of our health. We should take care of our health of mind and our body in order to preserve life. Our health is in our hands. What we put into our mouth is in our hands. What happens, some things are not in our control, like the weather, certain situations, but our body, we know what to do. We know what's good for it. And we need to be aware of what to give it, how to fuel it, yeah? So let's get back to what our Talmidei Chachamim said, and our, Rambam said that maintaining a whole healthy body is one way to serve Hashem, is a big mitzvah. And a person cannot understand or have any knowledge of the Creator if he's ill. What does that mean? It means that Hashem's will is that a person's body is kept healthy and strong. And if a person cannot have a strong body and healthy, will not be aware of Hashem's wonders and will not be able to serve him. And therefore, a person needs to do whatever is in his hands to preserve life, to preserve health. Now, Rambam's recommendations at the time, and we find this in his books, some of them were the following, and some of them probably are very known to you already, but let me repeat them here and remind you. We should not drink during our meals. We should also acknowledge the fullness cues. We should not fill up ourselves until we are feeling like completely that we're going to explode. We should really calm down and slow down. We should also eat seasonally. We should eat foods and vegetables that are in season and not all these imported and exported vegetables that, you can have the whole year round, because the nutrients are really in the seasonal foods. We should try to increase vegetables and green leaves into our diet and eat real food, not processed food. At the time of our Talmidei Chachamim, there were not processed food. They had only real food. We should also eat in an order. We should start with eating less heavy foods first, followed by the heavier foods, because that way you actually putting like different layers inside your stomach, which is making room for the heavier food and so it's easier to digest in a later stage, like when you are going through like finishing eating. And we should really pay attention to our body, listen to it. You know, when we all should go to like, we should look at our stools, the soft, the better. That's what Rambam said at the time. And reactions to food, how we react to certain foods we eat. When the Rambam was serving the Sultan of Egypt, that's how he did it at the time. It was actually healing him and helping him and supporting him by giving him good food and seeing how he was feeling based on what he was eating. And last but not least is to enjoy physical activity, but he also said not to do it after the meals. And that we also heard in today's generation, right? It's all nice and good, but in today's world and with all the media, with all the marketing going around, we are just bombarded with processed food. So it's so difficult not to actually eat this processed food, because you go to a supermarket and how much real food is there? There's like aisles and aisles of all these boxes and bags and cans, and there's actually like a little corner where you have your fruits and vegetables, meat, fish, and dairy products, which are also some of them really processed. But the majority of the food we see today in the supermarkets are processed, and they're all full of preservatives. They have a long life, shelf life. So how much real food are you actually putting into your body? And if you start reading the ingredients, you will also see that most of them, you don't even understand what you actually, when you read them, you don't even understand what you're putting into your body. So is that what the Rambam wanted at the time? Is that what he was suggesting for us? Definitely not. And not only that, we are so misleaded with the label claims. We read no gluten, fat-free, sugar-free, but if you actually understand the ingredients, we are being misled because it's not true. Maybe there's no sugar, but there's all kinds of like corn syrup or different sweeteners which are just as bad, or even, I would say, sometimes sugar is even better than all these sweeteners, right? So it is very difficult today with everything that's going on and with the busy life and, you know, sometimes just reaching out for convenience food in the supermarkets, not to fall for this. And this is actually what causes most common diseases today. So for example, some of them, just to mention some, is like cancer, diabetes, being overweight, Alzheimer, mental health, high blood pressure, hormonal imbalances with the cortisol and allergies, and so many more things. And, you know, we feel a symptom, we feel something, and the first thing we do, we actually go to the doctor. And yes, doctors are important. However, we should look actually for the root. We should look to find the root and not the solution to cover those symptoms. Many times we just take medication, but if you would actually listen to your body when you eat certain foods, you would know that actually by just removing those foods, you would just feel much better. So awareness is the first step to change. Now, let's go back to the Torah and to our, you know, like all our halachot and all our laws that we actually, you know, put us together. If we go back, I mean, it says in the halacha that we need to actually wash hands. We wash hands after touching a certain part of the body, when we wake up also for the tumah, and also before eating bread, you know, it's all for the hygienic. Also, at the times of the Gemara, it was said that people used to wash also before eating fruits and vegetables. That's not in today's generation, but it's interesting to see how much washing hands and the hygienic of before eating something and putting it into your mouth was so important. And then we have all our food laws, which is separating meat and milk and all the types of, you know, of meats that are actually allowed and of fish that are allowed and not allowed. So all of that actually puts us in a different level than everybody else, because we are actually taking care of our health by following these rules. And the kosher certification, I'm not saying that all the kosher products out there are like super healthy, but the fact that we actually have a kosher certification, a hersher, it means that it's been verified, it's been supervised, and it's definitely better for us. Now, with the media and everything, we get carried away. Me in Spain at the time, we hardly had any kosher processed food because there was nothing there. We based it on the Mediterranean diet, and that's what I base it today as well myself. But we were limited. We hardly had anything, not even kosher sweets, you know. So it's really important that we take care of our health, and we also take into consideration alcohol, because alcohol should not be overused. And the same thing with cigarettes. We should refrain from smoking in order to take care of our health. So it's super, super important to take responsibility and to be aware of these things. So our goal, according to the Torah, is our health. Torah itself sees the preservation of life at the highest goal. So it is really in our hands to take every action to protect our lives and to find what works for us. And again, medicine is good, but you should find the root before you find like a Band-Aid to cover it up. So you can look for meditation, for different guidance, tefillah, self-care. Anything is good in order to feel better, to feel in a safe place, to feel our body like safe and healthy at 120. So going back to the Rambam, he really believed that food was medicine. And is it really food medicine? Do you believe that food can be medicine? I believe it can. It really helped me at the time when I was trying to recover from this difficult delivery. And I believe that if you eat like a rainbow, so you have all the different colors on your plate or on your, day-to-day meals. You eat seasonal, like the Rambam said. You eat fresh and not processed. And you alternate, you change food. You don't eat every single day the same thing. Of course, you can repeat if you have leftovers, but the idea is to alternate, to put all the right nutrients in your body. This would lead and help to reduce inflammations, to boost your immune system, and to balance your blood sugar, not to restore fat. So this would help you to feel better, to feel more in charge of your body, and to feel more in control of your food. It would lead also to more energy. So definitely something to look into and to consider. So remember, like a rainbow, seasonal, fresh, and alternate. Hashem makes miracles constantly. We all know he gave us our body. It's a perfect machine that reacts directly to every element that we put into it. What do I mean with that? I mean that very often our moods and thoughts are linked to the food we consume. Baruch Hashem, there's plenty of food everywhere. We have Shabbat, Chagim. Food is always there. There's plenty, there's abundance, and we should really enjoy it. However, we should be more aware and more, eat with more mindfulness and listen to our body. Because if we're having a bad day, we might eat differently, but that different might affect us also in the long term. Let me give you an example. Belly bloating. You feel bloated. It happens to all of us. Maybe Laila Seder, maybe after you ate too fast. And belly bloating can be like gas. It can be causing digestive issues. However, there is the discomfort, which you feel either constipated, you feel reflux, you feel heartburn, you actually have pain because you're bloated. And there's also the looks, which, you feel like you're pregnant, even if you're not. It's the inflammation inside that you don't feel it, but it's actually happening. There's the hormonal imbalance that you don't feel on a day-to-day or on the moment, but is actually happening inside. The gut also, the liver might be playing a role there. the stress, overeating. So all of these symptoms, the belly bloating, whether it's based on a discomfort or maybe the look or how you feel, it's a signal from your body. It's saying either you ate too fast, either you're stressed, either something is really not well digested. So you need to actually identify what is it in order to feel good and to reduce that bloating. So our body knows everything. And I am of the opinion that if only everybody learned to listen to their body and would react according to those signals, that people would be healthier, they would see less doctors, they would use less medicines. And this is what Rambam told us at the time, that food is medicine, that actually if you go back to the real food, fruits, vegetables, spices, protein, you would definitely feel healthier and you wouldn't need doctors. So our bodies know very well what we need to be satisfied and to feel healthy. But sometimes we misunderstand it, right? So we just need to learn to understand those messages. It could be whether it's a headache, migraines, you're not sleeping well, digestive issues, allergies, acne. If you're a woman, maybe the time, your cycle is not balanced. So many things, so many ways that the body can send you symptoms and signals. So you need to listen to your body. And let me tell you also that the body is ready, has everything it needs to cleanse itself from inside. He knows exactly. He has the liver, which actually works to cleanse the whole inside of your organs. And you also have the gut, all right? And we actually sometimes need to give a little push to these organs in order to help them to prevent certain substances from ending up damaging your health. So how do you do that? You say, Dalia, how do you do that? You told me just now, you go to the supermarket and you're just facing all those processed food and all this. How do I start now? We're not living in the time of our tzaddikim at the time. We are actually here in today's generation where everything is so fast and we have no time. So this is the way I do it with my clients, and Baruch Hashem, it just gives such good results. The first thing to do would be to cleanse the body, but to cleanse the body with food. I'm not talking about having tablets and having juices and not eating. I mean actually eating food, but you cleanse your body from eliminating certain foods that trigger those symptoms, whether it's dairy, gluten, eggs, maybe even animal protein. Everybody is different because nobody, even if I have a program and I work with many people, at the end of the story, you are different than me. And my daughter is different than me, my mother is different than me, and the same thing won't work for you that works for me. But you need to know what is it that's triggering you, those symptoms. And then after a while, we reintegrate them again. I'm not talking about the sugar or processed food. I'm talking here about the dairy, the gluten, and then you see how you react. Because if you give your body a break, you would understand what is good for you and what's not good for you. And once you know what's not good for you, even if you would eat it, you know your consequences. So for example, dairy is not my best friend. However, if I would go to Israel and enjoy like something dairy, I know I might feel bloated, I might feel this, but it's my choice, okay? So I know how to handle it. I love this quote, and it's so, so true. If you listen to your body when it whispers, you won't have to hear it when it screams, which means that if you feel a little bit bloated, try to identify or try to dig in. What is it that caused that bloating? If you have a headache, if you have whatever it is, because if you don't take care of it today, it can get worse, and then it can get worse and worse, and then it will scream. So ladies and gentlemen, really take care of your body, take care of your health. We all have choices. And like I said before, we are all very different individuals and we have different needs according to our life situations. Not everybody has the same stress, the same routine, the same dynamics at home. And you don't need to be perfect, but you need to be aware of your choices. If you don't know your choices, if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to get very far. Make your choices based on having a healthy, long life to preserve Hashem's gift, okay, life. And just remember, ask yourself, if you are exposed to certain things that you don't know if it's good or bad for you, just say, I'm making the choice based on the experience I want to have by eating that. And if I'm going to eat that, how am I going to feel? Try to really talk to yourself. Try to understand what experience you want to have from that food intake. And remember, it's not that you can't eat this or can't eat that. It's more that you're making a choice for your health. Okay. So now I have a free gift for you. Anybody that would like to download, I'm inviting you to download this ebook with 10 superfoods for a long life, because these are easy 10 food suggestions that you can incorporate in your day-to-day life, today even, and it would be so beneficial for your health in order to really feel that energy, that vitality, and really to do what our Talmidei Chachamim wanted at the time, that we eat real food and that we listen to our body. So I invite you to go to my website, fullyinbalance.com, superfoods, and to download this ebook and let me know how you like it. I would love to hear which first superfood are you going to try to feel better. So thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, you can send me an email to dalia@fullyinbalance.com, and I would really love to help you. So have a great evening or great day. I don't know where you are in the world, but it's been a pleasure to be here with you today.